trim because it's one of my very favorite aspects of what we do in terms of health education. So, as Allison said, I had the opportunity to serve as USDA's National Program Leader for Nutrition. And when I wrote the white paper on obesity for the White House, I realized I was a statistic. I weighed well over 350 pounds at the time. I realized that there were better solutions out there than a low-fat diet. I learned about low glycemic impact eating. And then I subsequently was introduced to this company and was delighted to learn that they had a low glycemic program. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight is the GoTrim program. And low glycemic just means simply eating, to stabilize your blood sugar. And there's so many benefits to that. Obviously, weight loss is one of our primary goals, but beyond that, we also have the benefit of, reducing cardiovascular risk, having better energy, just so many benefits. And you're going to get to hear about that, not only from me, but I'm going to have two of my colleagues join me. And you'll get to hear a little bit from them about how it works in both the fitness field and also in the healthcare field. So without further ado, we'll move right into this slides. So why does GoTrim really matter? Well, people want to be healthy and they want to be fit. And, if it was simple, everybody would be, the perfect size. And, a healthy lifestyle focus is really the key to our program. And it's really all about health. It's not just about weight loss. And you're going to see that when I share some actual numbers with you tonight and talk about the success of our clients. Lifestyles consider all the different factors. And so, it's fine for us to say, well, you need to eat well, right? But many people eat extremely well, but they don't necessarily achieve the goals that they would like to reach. And for that reason, we really need to consider the whole aspect of somebody's life. So we've got sleep, we've got exercise, we have hydration, we have stress management, we have supplementation. And, all of those factors contribute to being able to achieve and maintain a healthy weight. A healthy lifestyle program helps to balance the stressors that lead to weight gain. And if you only focus on one thing, even if it's the food part, you may make great improvements in your food intake, make better choices and stuff. But at the end of the day, you're not necessarily making progress. Why does that happen to people? Well, especially as we get older, hormones change. Unfortunately, people's activity levels are dependent oftentimes on their job. Sometimes, people get up in the morning, they sit down in their car and they drive an hour to work, then they sit 8 hours at work, then they come home and they do the same thing, driving home, sitting all that time, and then sitting down and watching television at night. So, movement and exercise are particularly important. And we try to just factor everything in. We try to provide people with everything they need to be successful. Because it's not just one thing, it's a whole constellation of things that work together synergistically to get us results. What we know too is that if you have a lifestyle, you have the benefit of being able to, having tools for your whole lifetime. And so for that reason, it's not just a quick thing. A diet is a temporary way of eating, you guys. If you look that up in the dictionary, you'll see that a diet is really just, just a quick thing. And that's why it doesn't really work for people. People can lose weight, but they can't necessarily maintain it. And if you yo-yo, if you lose and gain, guess what? That actually slows down your metabolism tremendously. And eventually you end up with the refractory metabolism of a snail, which is really what had happened to me over so many years of yo-yo dieting. So with a lifestyle approach, we give you tools and they become part of our habits. And it takes, 90 days really to develop a habit and have it stick. And that's why the GoTrim program was originally set up as a 12-week program. It doesn't mean that we don't run shorter courses of it. We run classes that are 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks. But the whole program is designed to be 12 weeks. And that's really the best in terms of setting a solid foundation for people to have long-term success. I think also GoTrim supports a lot of different wellness goals. So often we focus just on the weight loss piece. But I work with Manny Roth-Miller, and he is the head trainer at SportFit, and a lot of his clients just want to have better performance. Sherry, who you'll meet tonight also. She's a registered nurse and an acupuncturist. And a lot of her clients, she has clients that are interested in improving their fertility odds because they want to get pregnant. Both men and women benefit. And, GoTrim can support those kind of goals as well as energy and better sleep and just, everything that makes for a better quality of life. So the picture on the right is me with my jeans when I weighed 165 pounds more than what I weigh now. And being able to lose that amount of weight really did, kind of change my life. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to be able to share wisdom with other people or share my experiences. And I'll be the first one to tell you that it's not easy, okay? It's pretty simple, not unlike our business, but it's not easy. So you do have to have, attention and focus and support. And what I love about GoTrim is that it's a turnkey system. And you don't have to be a nutritional expert. You don't have to be an exercise fanatic. You don't have to be perfect. You can make progress on your goals by simply following the system. And also the system provides for maintenance of your goal, of your results once you achieve them. And that's super important too, because again, we don't want to lose the weight only to regain it. And many people are doing that right now with the GLP-1s. People are using the shots, and I'm not for or against. I think it's a very useful tool for many people, particularly the microdosing. But I also think that people think it's a get out of jail free card, and it's not. And you have to be able to. It makes sense to pair any weight loss approach with a system to be able to sustain and maintain what you've been able to achieve with it. So what do fitness professionals have to say? Manny will be joining us in a little bit, but he gave me this insight. He said, my clients find the menu plans easy to follow, and they've used GoTrim products to support their lifestyle and long-term health and fitness goals. I've had people report back to me that their doctors, after 3 months of being on our program, say to them that they're no longer considered diabetic, and then they've been taken off medication. So, that's a pretty impactful, statement. Many people out there are unfortunately challenged by escalations in their blood sugar. Many people are considered either pre-diabetic or diabetic. Honestly, once your blood sugar gets too high, above the normal range, you're not pre-diabetic, you are diabetic. But it's nice to know that we can do everything that we can do with our diet and our exercise and our lifestyle choices and be able to make progress. And it's really nice when somebody can avoid a diagnosis of diabetes long-term. And Sherry says, GoTrim offers a proven, well-organized system to support overall health and weight management. As a particular practitioner, I particularly appreciate that GoTrim provides extensive educational materials for clients concerning nutrition and lifestyle to help ensure success in developing a healthy lifestyle. So I think this is one of the challenges that health and fitness professionals have faced for a long time, is that there's quality information out there and you can lose weight a bunch of different ways. And people become very passionate about whatever works for them. Maybe it's intermittent fasting. Maybe it's keto. Maybe it's a low glycemic program. Maybe it's a carnivore diet. But people learn about that and then they try to impart that to others, and it doesn't always work for everyone. The nice thing about GoTrim is that we have a great deal of experience with it now, like more than 15 years. And it's really great because it works for 95, 99% of all people, because people can make progress on their goals. And another really cool thing about it is that all those other things that we just talked about that I mentioned, the intermittent fasting, even the GLP-1 stuff can fit with the GoTrim lifestyle system. So it's not a really limiting program. And we have, for example, let's say somebody's vegetarian. We have special menu plans and recipes to meet those individual needs. So I love the versatility of the program. But what is exactly this GoTrim lifestyle system? This lady's talking about this. What's she talking about? Well, GoTrim's a comprehensive weight loss program, and it's designed to fit your personality, your commitment level, your goals, and your budget. And that's really super important. I get to work with a lot of different coaches and trainers, And sometimes people have a very like set approach. They're only going to do Go Trim one way, and everybody must start with a particular whatever, a detox or a 30-day jumpstart kit or some particular regimen. And that doesn't always work for everybody. One of the things that I think I've learned based on my own personal experience with weight loss and also being a coach is that it's really important to meet people where they are, because we have something for everybody. If somebody goes through the evaluation system, and we're going to talk about that in a second, how do you figure out what supplements and menu plans to use? But if somebody does that and completes it, then how do we decide what products they're going to get? And what if they only say, I just want to trim tea? Well, spoiler alert, I think that's great if they want to trim tea. And the reason for that is because of the kind of results they can expect. So that's a way that we match it to people's budget. I always say to somebody, where do you see yourself getting started? Because there's no point for me to recommend a $200 product regimen to them if their budget is $50 or $100, you see. And so one of the things I love is that we have a good deal of flexibility with the program and can meet people where they are. Now, the 4 components of Go Trim are first and foremost education. And, I am an education junkie, and I don't really apologize for it. I feel like education is super important and gives us a lot of flexibility in terms of making choices, better informed decisions. So I love that we educate people. I always tell people as a coach, my goal is to teach you how to evaluate what's suitable for your lifestyle, including what foods are good. Because when a new food comes out, I don't need them to call me and ask, hey, Nance, can I have this, right? I want them to be able to look at the nutritional information and figure that out themselves. The second component is low glycemic impact eating, or eating to stabilize, your blood sugar, and I'll show you that. And the third component is science-based supplementation. And, that's a really important thing, you guys, because many people are out there looking for opportunities to support, achieving and maintaining a healthy weight. And there's plenty of supplements that really are not going to necessarily allow them to make progress on their goals, which is, of course, disappointing for people. So the fact that we have science-based supplementation, and I'll go one step further and say using the amount of products, active ingredients that were used in the clinical trials. And that makes a big difference as well. And then the fourth component is body composition. We want to improve body composition. We want more muscle, less fat. We like to say that muscle dictates metabolism, but your metabolic wellness is dependent upon the amount of healthy muscle mass that you've got. And that's another really important thing when we talk about weight loss, right? Because people oftentimes see changes on the scale and they're super excited. I'm down 3 pounds. The question is, did you lose 3 pounds of fat, or did you lose 3 pounds of muscle, or some combination of the two? We want to not be losing muscle. And so, we want to make sure that people are aware of that, and we want to monitor that. We want people to measure that. We want people to know what changes they're realizing in their body composition. So this is just a graph sort of showing blood sugar levels over time. And, we'd like your blood sugar, to be in the 1 to 2 range, right? For many people, this will be, 85 to 100 milligrams per deciliter. Many people then in the morning get up and they have like a bagel or a donut or a muffin or cereal, and their blood sugar goes up pretty quickly. By the time we get to number 4 there at the top, your blood sugar has peaked. And at that point, unfortunately, you are in fat storage mode. We want to stay in the green zone, which is the fat burning zone, okay? But what goes up must also come down. And when your blood sugar plummets, then you become what we call hypoglycemic. That's number 5. These are the people that you've gone to a meeting with in the middle of the afternoon and they nod off, or they start drooling, or they're not really, with it. They don't have great attention, energy, and focus. So we would like for people to be in that, green zone all of the time, because that's going to allow you to have better, weight loss. It's going to keep you out of fat storage mode. It's going to allow you to have better energy. And, it doesn't have to be all, super low glycemic foods to do that, which you're going to see as we move forward. You're going to combine low and medium glycemic foods to stay in that range. And, those are things like, fresh fruits and vegetables, higher fiber foods. We're going to avoid, things like the cupcake shown in the upper right, cookies, cakes, things that are high, in sugar that are going to definitely spike your blood sugar. But there are other things we can do in terms of supplementation too, to help keep us in that, green zone, that fat burning zone. And that's really where we want to be. And that's why the system's going to support it. So one of the things that's most different about GoTrim is that it really is a fat loss program. And that's why using a tape measure to check your progress is much better than a scale. I mean, many of the scales now are smart scales, and you can get a read on your percent body fat and muscle mass. But, a tape measure honestly is a pretty good tool. And, the general rule from the literature is that 1 inch lost from the waist is equivalent to 1% body fat loss. And that's really what we want to do, right? I'll also just take a minute and mention that we don't focus on BMI. BMI, is kind of what I consider to be a bit of a silly a measure or, of ratio of height and weight. Okay. And so, we want to make sure that people don't worry too much about that. Unfortunately, in a doctor's office, they typically do not have all of the tools that we might like them to have to be able to measure body composition. So they use BMI because it's a quick ratio, and then they just look up in a table. But, there's other guidelines, you guys. A woman should have a waist, according to the National Institutes of Health and World Health Organization, 32 inches or less. The waist to hip ratio, we would like to be 0.8 or less. There's other, general guidelines which are better than BMI for measuring it. So we focus on body fat percentage. And of course, the allowable body fat percentage for a particular height and weight changes as a function of age. So, it's a very simplistic view to think that your body composition is going to remain the same as you go through all these different hormonal changes with aging. So, there are things you can do to try to tilt the odds in your favor, but you just need to be aware of that. And, we believe that GoTrim's a wonderful lifestyle resource. And you're going to see as we go through, what's available to us in terms of tools, there's just a lot available on our GoTrim website. GoTrim supports either self-study or group options. And, those of us who enjoy being with a group of people, like we call our folks that we work with, wellness warriors. So our wellness warriors people, they're all people that like to be on a weekly Zoom. They like to talk about things. They're active on the Facebook group. They're texting, they're, very, very vocal. They're sharing recipes, etc. But I just want you to know that there are people who are more to themselves, who maybe don't have the personality or don't enjoy being part of a group. That's okay, because this is a turnkey system. I have people that join a group just to be part of it and see the stuff, but they just want to be like in the background. And I'll say to them, I'd love for you to text me your log. And they might, a few times. And then some of them will say, I'm good, Nance, I think I've got this. And that's where I, as a coach, have to say to them, you go for it. It's not for me to convince them that a particular approach is going to be better or worse for them. I offer everything that I offer and tell them why I think it's great, and then let them go. And, I have had many people who decided to go it alone, so to speak. They maybe got started with a detox with a group, and then they got busy, or life got in the way, or they didn't want they didn't follow through with the one-on-one accountability, but they still got great results with GoTrim. So I just want you to appreciate the fact that it's, very, very flexible. Now, GoTrim supplements amplify results through clinically studied synergistic ingredients. And that's a really important thing. So the company, is going to focus on the particular ingredient that they know is going to get great results. And so I think that's, something to point to. They don't just use something that's, going to help block unwanted carbs. They use the Leptocore. And you're going to see as I go through a few of the supplements, how this plays out and why we get, great results. So I like to tell people that getting started with GoTrim, and getting success is as easy as 1, 2, 3. The first thing is to determine what your goals are. And this is what the client's goals are, not what my goals are as a coach. It's also super important that it's not their doctor's goals. I get a lot of physician referrals. And when people come to me and I say to them, so, okay, tell me what it is that you would like to see, tell me what we're working on here so that I can, give you the best information to help ensure that you make significant progress. And they'll say, well, my doctor wants, and then I have to say to them, but what do you want? What do you want? I mean, yes, your doctor has told you that you're on the path to possibly being diabetic, but what do you want? Well, I want to have more energy to play with my kids, or I want to be able to get down on the floor, or, I've lost my energy, my mojo. I have to listen to that because an individual's goals are what will move them forward, you guys. And then the second thing you do is to choose a menu plan and the appropriate supplements to support it. And I'm going to show you the weight loss profile and where to go through that so you can answer the questions. And that's how it matches it to your personality and to your time frame and to your specific goals. And then, once you've done that, then you're going to want to visit the gotrim.com site and just review all the resources. The GoTrim site is like a wellness dashboard, really. And it's got menu plans, it's got supplement information, it's got the journal guide, it's got videos, it's got recipes. It's just like a very, very comprehensive thing. And it's great because, if you can give somebody a menu plan with food lists on it and everything, but if they're at Wegmans and they're shopping and they don't remember something, they can just pull it right up easily on the GoTrim site. And I find that this is probably the most powerful thing when I'm working with, professionals, health professionals and fitness professionals. They don't want to have to recreate the wheel. Many people know how to eat well. The question is, can they impart that to somebody else? And the fact that we have dietitian created menu plans, we don't need to be nutrition experts. In many states, you're not allowed to really coach people on what to eat unless you have, a background in nutrition or a diet, or you're a dietitian. So, this is perfect because all we're doing is providing the information and guiding people. The main job I feel for a coach is really just to be a guide and a cheerleader. And a lot of people don't have anybody cheering for them. So if you can be enthused and encourage somebody as they make progress on their wellness and weight loss goals, I think that's perfect. So which program and products are right for you? On the GoTrim site, over on the left, there's a place where you can go ahead and take the weight loss profile. And the weight loss profile will come back and give you results like are shown on the right. In this particular case, it's recommending several products, and it's also recommending the Sure and Steady menu plan. And I just would like to say about the menu plans, if you take GoTrim 101, you're going to learn, the ins and outs of all the menu plans, and you'll learn about the science behind the supplements. But when somebody takes that weight loss profile, and then they find out that their friend was recommended a different menu plan, and they're like, well, I'm going to go ahead and do that menu plan. There's a reason that the weight loss profile recommended a particular menu plan for somebody. And you don't want to ignore that, I don't think, because sometimes you might be a little more casual. You might not want to have to be so super strict. And if you don't set yourself up for success, if you've got something that's too restrictive and it doesn't merge with your personality and your lifestyle. So really, use the tools and then really, consider what the results reflect before you override them, just, based on your own intuition. Having said that, I would say that we do have one kit that everybody should take the time to learn about. And I think it's, I would say it probably works for, again, 90+% of people. The 30-day Jumpstart Kit is a regimen, which is great for people that want to make significant progress in 30 days. It's great to help get rid of cravings, to do sort of a reset. It's complete and comprehensive. It starts with a 7-day detox. It includes daily essentials packets. And if you're a guest on this Zoom, those are it's a 4-pronged product, which includes a multivitamin, B complex, calcium, and then also something called OPC3. which is a potent antioxidant, a natural anti-inflammatory, and it actually also benefits in terms of stabilizing blood glucose. And we've got GoTrim Core in there, which I'm going to talk about in some, detail in just a minute. And then we've got 2 shakes, which are phenomenal. The shakes are super important because most people don't get adequate protein intake. And I mentioned earlier about GLP-1 clients, many of them don't get, they don't get enough protein, and that's when it leads to muscle wasting. We also included in the kit are recipes and a tracking sheet. And the tracking sheet's super helpful because it tells you what to do at what time of the day so that people can stay on track. We don't want it to become like a new job for somebody to be following this program. So it just helps to establish healthy habits. And then there's tons of, resources on gotrim.com. So it probably wouldn't be a talk by me if I didn't talk about the GoTrim Core. So I will make you all listen to that for just a minute. The core is designed to curb cravings and stabilize blood sugar. It includes an ingredient called leptocore, and it helps you to feel fuller. It helps inhibit the unnecessary absorption of starchy carbs. It says on there, carb and fat blocker. It doesn't block carbs. It blocks the absorption of carbs, okay? And what it does is that keeps your body from making fat. So it's really powerful, and it helps to maintain normal blood sugar levels and normal insulin. And it stimulates lipolysis, which is your body breaking down fat for fuel. And it helps to promote weight loss. And you take 2 tablets before your 2 largest meals. But this is the slide I particularly wanted to show you because it highlights the fact that this is way more than a weight management product, you guys. This is from a study that was done and published on leptocore, the ingredient. And look at what happens with cholesterol, down 18%. The bad cholesterol is down 15, the good's up 13.7, triglycerides are down, fasting blood glucose improved by 8%. Serum serotonin, the feel-good brain chemical, is up 28.6%. Leptin levels, leptin's a cell signaling hormone, higher levels are better for cardiac health and also for we want to make sure we have good leptin sensitivity. And then C-reactive protein levels, which is a marker for inflammation, were down 15%. So I misspoke about the leptin levels. Leptin levels are down because we don't want too high levels of leptin because then you become leptin insensitive. It's like becoming, insulin resistant. Another product that I would carefully consider is our GoTrim Tea and Cafe. I like to actually combine that with the 30-day jumpstart, and we often run programs that include those 2 things together. It's a real significant cost savings. And the GoTrim Tea and GoTrim Cafe are really, really good. They also stimulate lipolysis and help with blood sugar maintenance and support metabolic balance and wellness. And they can help to reduce the amount of ingested starches that are converted and supporting cardiovascular health. Going back just the one slide, I would just like to mention that one of my clients used this product to only lose about 10 pounds or 12 pounds. And I don't mean to say that that's not significant. It's great, but it wasn't like 60 or 80 pounds. But her improvement in her lipids was so dramatic that her physician told her he didn't know what she was doing, but she needed to stay with it. Well, she thought because she had lost a little bit of weight that got her down to her goal, that she probably could not, she could step away from this. And despite the fact that she'd used numerous prescription medications and other supplements, the core product containing this leptocore is what really got her great results. And to this day, she continues to take that product to support her heart health. She's at her goal weight. So, the 2 key decisions when you're working with GoTrim are the menu plan and the supplements. And, you can start with the detox. You have to consider, do you want a comprehensive regimen for 30 days? That'd be the 30-day jumpstart. What are your GoTrim weight loss profile results? Consider what's being recommended for you. And then I ask that question, where do you see yourself getting started? Some people will commit to 30 days. Some people will commit to 3 months. Some people will commit to $50. Some people will commit to $300 or more. You need to, really factor that in. And, these are all the GoTrim products, and I really wish I could go through them all, but I think you'd probably rather hear from my colleagues about how they're implementing this. So I'm just put a QR code in the upper right-hand corner. That That's for the upcoming Go Trim 101, which we're going to have at the end of September, on September 29th. And Heather Philo-Filibosian and I will be teaching that 101, and we'd love for you to join us if you have an interest. It's suitable for clients as well as for coaches. So we've got these customized menu plans. These all show up on the Go Trim website. And so people really have the specifics of what they need to do, and they have a shopping list to go purchase the stuff. And, again, I just want you to notice that it's a fat loss program. Look at the change in the body composition, the improvement for each of the 3 people shown here. And you can find many more Go Trim testimonials and photos on the Go Trim website. So, when I think of takeaways, it's comprehensive when we talk about a lifestyle. I believe the Go Trim really promotes wellness. You can empower your body and transform your lifestyle with Go Trim. We have carefully formulated supplements that really supercharge your metabolism while supporting fat burning. It's going to help you stabilize your blood glucose levels, ensuring overall metabolic health. And it provides huge flexibility. I mentioned earlier, you can use this framework with intermittent fasting, with keto, with vegan options, and it provides support for GLP-1 as well. And Go Trim can be paired with CGMs. Those are continuous glucose monitors, which are available over the counter, certain brands. And we use those routinely with our classes, and we see great results because people don't always understand that it's not just food that spikes your blood sugar. It can be stress, it can be sleep, lack of sleep, it can be exercise things. So it's really an extra tool, and it solidifies those healthy habits that people gain. But let me go ahead, and I'm sure by now Manny's joined us, I hope so. And
Yes.
Oh, great. Thank you, Cher. And we're just going to chat with Sherry and Manny at this point and hear a little bit about what they think is important. So, Sherry, I'll start with you. Thank you for joining us. I mentioned to folks that you are a registered nurse and an acupuncturist, but I didn't mention that you're also a lawyer. That's that JD thing, right? And the co-founder of East West Healing Arts. And Sherry, could you just comment what you like most about the 30-day Jumpstart Kit for getting people started?
Well, I feel that it's comprehensive and that it addresses many dimensions of what it takes to bring your gut into proper working order. I love the 7-day cleanse because it detoxifies the liver. It gets rid of unwanted waste that maybe you've been holding on to for a while, and it scours the gut. It has fiber that scours the gut and makes the nutrition you eat more absorbable. So I think it's a great way to start the program and get you in a position where you're really benefiting from the other products in the kit.
Thanks, Cher. I think one thing I forgot to mention, and it's worth noting, is that that kit provides a cost savings for people too. So I think it also allows them to get the most for their investment, which is great. Manny, how are you tonight?
I'm great, thank you, Doc.
Hey, why did you choose Go Trim for for implementation with your clients?
I chose it because it worked for me first. I was a unwilling participant at first, and I got introduced to the products, and one product after another, it became a system. So I didn't come right in with a system. It became a system for me. And once it started working for me, it answered questions that I had for a very long time, because I was trying a whole lot of different things and just trusting the system altogether, even though I didn't quote unquote believe in supplements at that time. I trusted the system, and it worked. So, me being a trainer and a coach, trying to reinvent the wheel for every single client, this just really serves as a baseline, as a template, And like you mentioned, some people are going to do intermittent fast, and some people are going to do keto. Some people are going to do, all type of diets. Some I never even heard of. But to have the Go Trim menu plan and the nutrition support products as a template, you can always, add to or take away from what works best for you.
Thanks a lot, Manny. Yeah. And it sounds like you really, the fact that we've got those dietitian written menu plans and we didn't have to create that, we didn't have to figure that out ourselves. I mean, that's huge, don't you think?
Absolutely.
Sherry,
I think it's,
you've
I'm
helped a
sorry, I
lot.
was going to say, I think it's important when you're not a nutritionist, a dietitian, to know that the program takes care of educating you and your client, but you can rely upon that. You know that it's proven and it's foolproof.
Yeah, that's a very good point, Cher. I know that you've helped a lot of women with hormone imbalances.
Mhm.
And how do you feel that GoTrim can help to support their goals?
Well, not everyone walks into the fertility clinic with a healthy body or lifestyle. And I did have a client who, her regular food, at least twice a day, was candy bars. And I always said to them that you're your baby's grocery store.
Oh,
And
wow.
it's so important that they really, help balance hormones, supports the advice they're getting from their fertility experts by really making their body, making it healthy enough to carry a fetus. So I think in terms of weight management during the pregnancy, eating healthy is important. And this program allows you to do that. And I've worked with many women who were not able to get pregnant before, whether they're in or out of a program for fertility, that have gotten pregnant just by making some of the dietary changes that are recommended, the lifestyle and dietary changes recommended.
Yeah, I think that's something to be really proud of. And it's not really that difficult once people understand, the concept and if they have a big goal, right? We talked earlier about it's good to
Big goal.
understand people's goals.
Mm-hmm.
Manny, can you comment on how GoTrim supports performance? Because I think a lot of people think it might only be for weight loss. I know that you wear, different trackers and you check different things, and you're wanting to really optimize your overall health. And this has played a role in that. But how do you explain it to people that they don't think it's, Weight Watchers or something?
Well, it definitely helps stabilize my blood sugar, and I know I can get different responses from my training at different levels of blood sugar. It definitely helped me sleep better by stabilizing my blood sugar. And then also the tower protein we have and the electrolytes. You introduced me to the electrolyte when it first came out through the GoTrim, and I was running hills, if you remember,
I
in the
do.
in the heat of the day on purpose, just to get my body acclimated to the heat. And when I started using the electrolytes followed by recovery with the tower protein, not only was I able to sustain my workout longer, but my recovery was faster. So following the good menu plan that kept my blood sugar stable, preventing crashes and preventing cravings and stuff throughout the course of the day, using the electrolytes to keep my body hydrated, and then using the protein to replenish and restore faster, it helped me have one of my most athletic summers.
Nice. That's great. Sherry, what is your favorite GoTrim supplement and why? And I don't mean necessarily just for your own personal use, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
because you work with a lot of different people.
Sure.
You have kind of a favorite?
I like the acts. I feel that so many times people's hormones are out of balance, and a lot of that has to do with stress. And um, that a lot of people come to me because acupuncture can be very relaxing to begin with. And I think it serves my population well. But getting your hormones in balance has so much to do with sleep and energy and mood, that that is a product I introduce early to them.
Nice. Manny, do you have a favorite GoTrim supplement? I don't hear him.
Um, for
Oh,
for I do. I definitely like for people who adhere to it, the response from core. And I have a very similar situation to you. One of my clients who was on different cholesterol medication began taking the core, and she said that she noticed a difference in her reading that could not be explained other than by the addition of the core, because she
nice.
was already on medication and her number wasn't budging. So for people who adhere to it, I definitely believe it's the core. And I've even done an experiment experiment my core myself because I do wear the continuous glucose monitor continuously.
Of
Um,
course you did.
Of
to
course you do, Manny. Of
to
course.
to eat something. Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. So to eat something that would typically cause my blood sugar to spike, eating it after using the core, it did not. My number did not go as high, and that's what the core is supposed to do. So those are two reasons that is my favorite.
So you're telling me that you not only help people learn what to eat, you teach them how to cheat, so to speak.
I guess you
That's
could say that.
okay.
Yeah. No, I think it's a good thing. I mean, in other words, we want people to understand what they're doing with their body and what they can do to help mitigate damage. People are from time to time going to have cake or sweets or something, right? So why not be smart about it? Why not, handle it well? You know, both of you guys, either of you can answer this. When we run our classes together and have weekly Zooms to support, our group that we call our Wellness Warriors, what kind of feedback do you get from participants? And do you think people want to be part of a wellness community in general?
I think that it really encourages them to stay consistent and to know, to hear what other people's struggles are, to know that they're not alone in adhering to the plan. I think it's just universally um, popular and um, really productive for them to be in a group. And I think just people ask questions, and someone might be reticent to make the inquiry, but they're glad to hear the result because that question was really on their minds as well.
Thank you. What do you think, Manny, about the groups and stuff? You have people that are like, when are you guys running another one?
Absolutely. The group does a lot. I think that many people who are beginning a journey, whether if it's weight loss or whether if it's fitness, whether if it's understanding blood sugar, it gets lonely because you don't know what to expect. But to get
Mm.
online and to hear people that are professionals, at, you know, be honest about their own struggles and their own journey. And, a lot of the people on our team have been through the program several times and they're still learning things and they're still grasping concepts and making better habits their fifth or sixth time around. So that it removes the loneliness, for a person to get on their first time and the third day on their detox, they have something they shouldn't have.
Right.
It really it builds a community and people do look forward to it. There are also people that won't ask a question. I know people will not, they won't ask me, they won't raise their hand in the Zoom, they won't even ask a question on Facebook, but just hearing other people ask questions, they glean from that and they get good information. I always get good feedback. And you're right, a lot of people are waiting for us to start our next group.
But we're going to do that in September. I'm going to just ask you each one more question. Sherry, why should people attend the Go Trim 101 and 201 trainings from your perspective? You obviously very well educated. You've been to any number of continuing ed classes and stuff. How do you think the 101 and 201 can really benefit somebody?
Well, I mean, you can read everything online, but I feel there is nothing like hearing it from people who are experienced and know how to address problems when they come up. I think it covers the material from top to bottom and it builds your confidence in being able to implement this in your own practice or in your own life.
Manny, you have any sage advice regarding a 101 or 201?
The education to learn everything about what it means, what GoTrim stands for to begin with, the different pillars that go behind it, um, understanding that it's not weight loss. That's another thing that people find frustrating when people begin a fitness journey. They're only looking at one metric for success. We talk about body composition and the different tape measurements. We also define what the plateau is with these things. A lot of stuff that I learned. Definitely the education about supplements and how you said we teach people to cheat, but how we can use a supplement to offset something. For instance, if you do drink a protein drink before you go out or add a fiber powder before you have a higher calorie meal, and that blunts the glycemic effect, or um, just any number of ways. There's products that I learn about each time, things that I wasn't paying attention to initially, that now my life has changed some. I might be more interested in other products that are on there. So I continue to attend. Also, as the company's evolving and new products get added,
Mhm.
it's just always good. There's a quote that I love that says, "You can never step in the same river twice." So sometimes I'll hear something in the presentation that I heard before again, and it just makes more sense to me now that I'm a little bit more evolved in my fitness journey and in my, because I'm not only am I a Go Trim coach, I'm also a client, right? So
Right.
as I as I hear things and other clients are saying things and combining different products, it just really keeps me a student and it keeps me fresh and excited about the programs.
Mhm.
Thanks so much. So I think what these guys are saying too, you guys, is it's not one and done. On this particular slide, I've just given you some bullet points. So the 101 in simple terms is really about the fundamentals of the program, teaching you a little bit about low glycemic impact eating and the wellness benefits, talking about exercise and body composition, the supplementation, the science behind that so that you can speak intelligently about it. And, creating a personalized healthy lifestyle. And then the 201 is more for, health coaching and business building. It's a workshop, and coaching and marketing strategies using AI are discussed, and also how to find clients. I mean, it's great for us to have this knowledge, but how do we find the people to be that we're going to work with to be able to help, and what makes Go Trim so unique. So I think we kind of right at our 45 minutes, which Allison very generously increased our time to. I appreciate that. But I wanted to let everybody know, if you're going to be attending the Icon next week, we're going to have a Go Trim and a Nutrimetrics breakout. And Brandy Murphy will, of course, be hosting that. And what she's going to do is feature the Go Trim trainers. Most of us work in Nutrimetrics as well, and we're going to be talking about how Go Trim and Nutrimetrics fit well together. And I think it'll be a very powerful discussion. It'll be a panel discussion format, which I think always makes for interesting, evening. So we hope that you'd be able to join us. That would be next Wednesday from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. So I think I want to thank Sherry and Manny again
Thank you.
for joining us. And I'll ask you, Allison, I couldn't follow the chat and talk to them. I can't do two things like that at once. So is there anything that any questions that linger that we might need to answer?
Yes, absolutely. And please, everyone in the chat, drop some love for Dr. Nancy Miller-Ihli. This was absolutely incredible. We learned so much. Coach Manny, Sherry, thank you for the wisdom. We do have a question.
Okay.
Carrie says, I love the Go Trim. I think I've hit a plateau. What do you suggest?
So really, I'd need to know if you really did hit a plateau. Just so everybody knows, a plateau is 4 weeks with no inch loss, no weight loss, or no body fat loss. And it happens very, very rarely. But when somebody has a plateau, you have to look at the food log, I think, and see really how close are people following the menu plan. If in fact you are following a menu plan like Sure and Steady, which allows for some more carbs, and by the way, this is not a low carb program, you guys, because fiber is a carb, and we want you to have plenty of that. But you don't, if you're following a plan that doesn't include, like, for example, grains, and you're not eating rice or bread or anything, then you might go to a more restrictive plan like Rapid Results or the Fat Shredder program. So those are things that you can do to try to kickstart it. But I just find sometimes patience really is a virtue. And if you lost even like a half an inch off your waist, then you're not plateaued. So don't focus too much on the scale.
That's beautiful. I love it. Carrie, hopefully you heard that and can take that advice. I don't see any other questions in the chat, but a lot of great comments, a lot of love for you. What's the best way that we can follow you along? Facebook, Instagram? I know you're out there on social media.
Yeah, Facebook is the easiest probably. Not a big Instagram person.
Okay, perfect.
But Facebook, yeah. And
Perfect. And I know you had a QR code for the upcoming event, September 29th.
Yeah.
Would that be okay if we share that? Yeah, maybe show it again because I know it kind of went by fast. I think I might have even missed it. So
Probably don't need to see about the OPC burst. Let me go back one.
yeah.
The codes are on here too at the bottom. This is the 101 on September the 29th. And then on October 1st, it's a Tuesday and a Thursday. The bottom code is a 201. So again, Heather and I will be doing the 101 on Tuesday, September 29th. And then Corinne Roberts and Pam Torgerson will be doing the 201 on the business building aspects.
Okay, just share your screen real fast for us
Oh,
if you
I thought
don't
I
mind.
did. Sorry.
No,
Okay.
no worries, no worries.
Whoop.
So everybody can see this. You can screenshot it. definitely more valuable information to be had. You are a wealth of knowledge, Dr. Nancy, and we
But I
really
can't share
appreciate
my
it.
screen. I'm just kidding.
Ah, beautiful. There we go. Yes, and there is a registration link. There are QR codes.
There you go. So the QR codes, I'm sorry, here you guys are for the 101 on the 29th of September and the 201. And the
Perfect.
registration fee is $25. And just very much so, we encourage people to even have clients attend the 101 because somebody, like Manny said, once you really understand something and exactly how it works and why it works and the fundamentals of the program, that really encourages people's success. You know, not everybody needs to know everything about everything, but people need to know something about, the program. And it's a really good way to leverage the expertise of the trainers. And they're going to hear, about success stories and be encouraged, I hope.
Beautiful. We love it. Well, thank you so much for your
You're
time. We
welcome.
really appreciate you. I'm definitely going to spread these QR codes around. So if you missed it, don't stress. We'll get it out to you. Please do follow along Dr. Nancy on Facebook. She's an amazing resource, and I know she'll be there at our international convention next week in Greensboro, North Carolina. That is a great place to see her live and connect with her and so many other people in our community. So please get with the person who invited you onto this call, get connected with a Go Trim product that can change your life or the life of someone that you love. And thank you so much, Dr. Nancy. We really
You're
appreciate
welcome. Have a great evening, everybody. See you next week, I hope.
it. Bye, guys. See you.